And hello, and welcome to the second Commish's Corner, where I take you through the happenings, the thinking process, the what's, the ifs, the hows, the whys, everything FIFA franchise online. It's me, your commissioner, Jlizzle, for Shizzle, and we are now in the postseason, boys. The postseason is alive and well. Um, some very good results so far, but I think it's kind of gone to plan, and we'll run through a few of those results right now and see where we're standing, and also jump into today's main topic, which will be some changes to look for in season two. Sorry, it's this is my third time recording this. Like the first two times, I was wondering why there was no audio, and it's because my headphones were plugged into my Xbox and not my PC. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit redundant for me doing it all over again. But yeah, let's knock it out. So as we can see here on the screen, uh, how the season finished obviously was Red Bulls 1, Orlando 2, Toronto 3. In the Eastern Conference, these three teams were guaranteed. We had 4, 5, and 6 going for the last playoff berth. New York played Columbus. New York won that one. They played Atlanta. Atlanta won that one. So again, it's going to be 1 versus 4. Red Bulls versus Atlanta, and then 2 versus 3. Orlando versus Toronto in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, we had LAFC, Colorado, LA Galaxy, and a bit of a late season run. It was unfortunate that we had Sporting Kansas City, who I want to strike out right now. Sporting Kansas City, who dropped out literally the last 2 days of the season. Um, Kind of gave everybody a default win, which kind of ruined the playoff challenge and you know climax a bit. But in the end, these are the three teams who were vying for a playoff spot: Vancouver, Seattle, and Minnesota. Seattle played Minnesota in that one. Seattle won, and we're waiting today, I think, for Vancouver to play Seattle to see who gets the fourth and final spot in the Western Conference playoffs. All right, now go hopping over to the USL. I don't have the USL thing on me right this second, but in the East we have New York Red Bulls versus NYCFC. Red Bulls took that one. They will face the winner of either the 1 seed or the 4 seed, which would be Orlando or Columbus. And as of this recording is 1:45 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. I'm still waiting to play that game. Whether that gets played or not is a different story. Different story. In the Western Conference, we had Galaxy versus Sounders. Galaxy won that one, and we had Rapids versus Minnesota, which was the battle of the buddies, is what I like to call it. Not the battle of the bastards, the battle of the buddies. Uh, Good old Bard and Yosti, and Bard was victorious in that one. So we have LA Galaxy versus Rapids 2 after their really, really great Commissioner's Cup final. That was a very, very good game. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that last time we spoke on the podcast, or whatever this is, Commissioner's Corner. Um, yeah, it was very, very good. Torito won that one with a very good strike from Tevez in the last, I guess, 10 minutes of the game. Very, very good goal. I commentated on that one. Hopefully, I'll be able to commentate on the next Cup final, which has just been kind of announced, and the Generation Adidas Cup, which we'll see. We just announced it yesterday. We have Whitecaps versus Minnesota United in the Generation Adidas Cup. Very, very two. Very two very good. Sorry. Oh my God, I've done this a million times already. Two very good sides here. Um, Vancouver versus Minnesota. Hopefully, I can get them to get a time where I can announce and broadcast the game, which should be really cool. And maybe we'll put up a cheeky bet or two on this one. Speaking of bets, I think everybody now has seen that we have the bookies. The bookies are now up here. We have the gamblers table where you can kind of basically chit chat about what kind of bets are going on, the rules of betting. We have right now going on a very good special. I think it's 15 to 1 odds to get all of these results. The first two results are in, fellas. Uh, we'll see today versus Lazio versus Atlanta, which should be the most difficult one. I also think that Arsenal will get a result versus Southampton, so I think this one's going to be probably a wash as well, but we shall see. All right, so let's flip over a little bit to what is going to happen in season two. Right now, in season one, we have a few different rules here. The first rule was 23 player maximum for your senior roster. That has changed. We now have 25 spaces in your senior roster to do that. So that will be something to look forward to for 2 extra roster spaces. However you want to deal with that, either whether you call people up or leave it open to sign free agents or whatever have you is up to you. But that is something to look forward to in season two. We also expanded before the end of season one. We expanded the academy spaces to 18. So kind of segueing into this next season, season two, the academy team will have up to 19-year-olds. This season it's been 18-year-olds. From season two, it'll be up until 19. And if you are 19, let's see, my team, I don't have any 19-year-olds. Obviously, there is no 19-year-olds in this section. But for example, if I were to call down Haji down into my academy team, he is 19 years old. So because he is 19, he can only spend 1 season in the academy, which is obviously a rule that it is now, but at 18 years old. So he can spend 1 season in the academy with me. Then after that, he has to either be called up to the senior team or he has to be released. He cannot spend more than 1 season in the academy if he is 19 years old. Now, speaking of academy and young players, right now the USL and their rules are that you're allowed to play 2 players who are 20 and under from your senior team in the USL games. In season two, that will not be allowed. In season two, you have to play only the players in your academy team. You have 18 slots to play them. Use them. That's all I'm going to say about that. You have 18 slots to have players in there. That's more than enough to field a team. And actually, that's the bare minimum to field a team. 11 plus, you have your 7 subs. So that's a full team right there. Use it. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. No player who is in your senior team who is under 19 or 19 and under is allowed to play. 0, 0, 0 spots for senior players in academy rosters. Now, that being said, this season, season one, the USL was not mandatory for people to participate in. For season two, it will be mandatory for people to play both USL games and your senior team games. Now, what this does is it allows you to have a better understanding of the players that you have in your academy. And on the another plus side of this is that you get more games to play, right? So we have 2 games every 3 days for the senior team, and we'll have a little bit longer for the USL games. So the USL games will be a little bit longer. So you have 5 days to play your USL games. If you cannot get a USL game played in 5 days against one opponent, you have 2 games to play against one opponent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. So those are going to be the new rules. for all the young players. Um, USL, 19 under, no senior team. Everybody has to have a USL team. Everybody has to compete in the USL League. And yeah, that's that. I mean, the whole point of that basically is to. This is a management FIFA online career mode. So would you just ignore your academy players in career mode? No, you wouldn't. You would see who you have. You would bring them on. You would have the value of those players and not just kind of they're academy players. I never get to play with them, so no, they don't mean anything to me. Not anymore. Every player's gonna have a value, and hopefully this kind of I don't know. I guess I'll say strictens the market a bit, so people don't just willy nilly throw players away. I really think, and I always say this. I think if people could go back, they wouldn't release or trade some of the players that they did. But it is what it is, and this is where we are now. So those are some of the rules. Also, another new rule which could potentially cause some people to cry, but I don't really care. Use your mask for Corona to cry into. Um, we're gonna have. I'm gonna call it the Zlatan Ibrahimovic rule. The what? The Zlatan rule. What's that? Well, let me tell you what that is. Now, prepare to be butthurt. Zlatan Ibrahimovic in last year's Major League Soccer. He played for LA Galaxy. LA Galaxy scored 63 goals as a team. Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored 31 of those 63 goals, leaving him at a league high 49% of the team's goals. Now, I'm not saying that people, you know, abuse players, or I'm not saying that you're cheating, or I'm not saying that you're playing sweaty. We're not. Nobody's saying that. But what I am saying is that this is the stat that is realistic. That what we're trying to strive for here, and FIFA Franchise Online, is to bring a realism as much as possible to the community. And I think this is a very big part of that. If we look at some of the stats here, let's look at goal leaders. Goal leaders, for example, Diego Rossi. Diego Rossi scored a lot of goals, 41. LA Galaxy, not Galaxy, LAFC scored a total of 83 goals. 83 goals. Now, if we're going to bring on the trusted calculator, let's see here. All right. So let's do 0.40. Okay. Let's try that again. 0.49 times, what is it, 83? 83. 40 goals. 40.61. So, your boy Rossi is right at the limit. He is right at the limit for goals for his team. Fair enough. He's there. Let's look at somebody else. DK, Daryl DK, my player. Okay. He had 26 goals, and me as a team scored 57. All right. So, let's see here. So again, 0.49 times 57. 27.9. So about 28. He has 26 goals, so he would be safe as well. So, guys, we got to really pay attention to this coming through in Season 2. There will be performance-enhancing drugs, or PED, suspension for players who are over. Now, there will be checkpoints, so to speak. So there will be a certain amount of games that need to be played, and after those certain amount of games are played, we will do a check. So it's not going to be like, oh, 2 games in, I've scored 3 of the 4 goals for my team. You're suspended. No. Come on, guys. Have a little more faith in me than that. There will be checkpoints throughout the season, and if the player is over during those checkpoints, he will be suspended for however many games, depending on the amount of goals or percentage he is over. Let's just kind of look through again. Let's look at Tevez. Tevez has 26 goals. He's just a monster for LA Galaxy, isn't he? 26 goals, and he had 58. So obviously he's under that, just barely. Not even have to do the math on that one. Obviously it's 20. Ooh, I can't even do math anyways, apparently. 49 times, what is it, 58? 58. Yeah, so he's under that as well. So this goes to show you guys you can still score a lot of goals. The top 3 goal scorers in the league are all under this 49% mark. So it's not even that big of a deal, but it is going to be a new rule. Deal with it, live with it, get over it. All right. So just out of curiosity, I want to try a couple more. Zardes for Columbus, he has 22 goals. And let's see, Columbus. For again, he's gonna be right there, isn't he? So 0.49 times 46. Yeah, fuck off. 0.49 times 46. 22.5. Okay, so he would be he's a very, very lucky boy. If he hits the 23 mark, then he's over. Right? So Zardes is very, very close here. Wow, very close. But so far, so good. You know, there's nobody's over yet. Let's have one more. Come on. We might as well. One more. All right, let's look at Kamara. 21. Let's look at Kamara. 21. Rapids, Colorado. Yeah, he's well under at 61. I'm not going to do the math on that one. Yeah. Who else was there? Chara. Okay, Chara. Let's look at Chara for Portland. He's on 19 goals. Yeah, so he's under that as well. So yeah, it can be done, guys. That's all I'm going to say about that. Speaking of, let's move on. Speaking of other things to go for, we're going to be talking about injuries. Now, right now, injuries are a role system where players injured, you have a role. You have a 30, I think, was it 30% chance or something like that to not be injured. I can't even find injuries on my own freaking Discord. This is ridiculous. There we go. So right now, we have this role. So you have no injury, 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 no injury, injury, injury. In season 2, there will be there won't be 2 steps. There will only be 1 step. This step will be going away. This step no longer applies because if you are injured, everybody who gets injured will be injured. There will be no chance of you not being injured. Right? It's part of the game. We have 25 people available in your roster. Figure it out. Again, injuries are part of the game. They happen. Figure it out. Now, step 2 will become step 1, and these will obviously increase a little bit. So we have like 1 game, 3 games, 2 games, whatever it is. There'll be more options here, but you will be injured no matter what in season 2. All right, so those are a few things that you guys can look forward to in season two. One more thing that I will talk about is the cap. All right, so oh shit, well I have you guys here. As you can see, everybody's academy teams because we have paid out our last money to the collector for the season. Everybody's academy teams, players that are in your academy now, congratulations, all of their money has been reset to free. Free, 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 free. Thank God I'm free at last. Free, 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 free. Everybody's free. Which means, guess what? You have more cap space. Yay! I'm so nice. Right? Also, if you look at your team, because we have extra cap space now, the yellow double your scouts, all of that money has been returned to normal as well. Yay! So if you want to take a look at your current total cap, how it's working out, go ahead and look at the spreadsheet next time you get a chance. Okay, so let's have a look at a little thing I'm doing here. Now, these numbers are not finalized, but they will be kind of very similar to this, what's kind of going on, what's going on here. All right, so as you can see, adjusted cap for under 21 potential players. Now, this will be a thing for Season 2. It was supposed to be in for Season 1, but I thought it was a bit unfair to kind of throw that in on you. So for Season 2, this will be there from the start. So these only apply for players who are under 21 with 80 plus potential. I know everybody loves potential, but this kind of makes it a bit more difficult to keep all those players. Obviously, players like teams like myself and a couple other teams have a lot of high potential players. This will be now more costly for us to do so, which in turn will move the market for those kind of players, and people can't just hoard those players, so to speak. So here we go. I'll give you guys an example. Again, these are just kind of numbers right now. They're not finalized. So right now, a goalkeeper who is, let's not even look at 55 to 60 because that's not even really relevant. Let's look for somebody who's 61 to 70. Their normal cap would be 75,000. Their salary for the year. If they're in this mark, so if they're 61 to 70 overall, and they have an 80 to 83 potential, from 75,000 they're all the way up to 200,000. It's a big jump. Big jump. If they have 60 to 70 overall and they have an 84 to 86 potential, now very, very high players, very high potential players, they go up to 350,000. Right? Again, these are not final numbers, but it will be something very similar to this. So to hold on to the big guns, the young studs, it's going to take a lot more money in your pockets to take a hold of them. There has to be pros and cons. You know, right now, if you have a young guy who has a high potential and say his market value is what 8 million, but you're only paying him 125K a season right here in the attacker zone, you know, how's that fair? You know, you got a guy who's a higher rated but less value in the market, you know, having to pay more wages. That's not fair. So to balance things out a bit, this is what we're doing. I don't want to hear any crying about it. If anybody is going to be hurt with this, it's me. Have you guys seen my team? Look, pink, 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 pink. If anybody's going to be hurt by this rule, it's going to be my team. So I don't want to hear, and I had more pink than that before I traded some players. So yeah, I don't want to hear any complaints about it. It is what it is. You know, Atlanta, they're gonna have problems too. Look at that. Look at those overalls and potentials. So it's gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay to keep the high-rated players, high potential players. It is what it is. Dallas is gonna have to move some players on, maybe, possibly. You know, We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. I guess kind of speaking on the cap space while we're at it, there will be very slight changes to the cap, and one of those changes will be this little star here. This little star here, Portland Timbers. They've starred Chara. That's fine. But coming to season 2, we now have young stars, young DP spaces, which means 21 and under. All those players I just mentioned who are going to have a higher salary cap. Guess what? Boom goes the dynamite. You now can tag one of those players as your star, young star DP. Right? So, oh, Jlizzle, you did this. Oh, but you did that as well to balance it out. Of course I did. Who do you think you're messing with here? Jlizzle for the shizzle. All right? I'm going to get this right. Guys, it's not going to be all negative. There's also a positive to this. Right? So, if I'm raising the prices, I've got to do something to negate those everything else. There it is. You're welcome. Young DP's coming in season 2. All right? Cool. That's all I'm going to talk about for now. I'll catch you guys in the next Commish's Corner. And yeah, good luck to everybody in the playoffs. Next time we speak will be right before the draft. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, guys, take it easy. Later. Ba, 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 ba.